Guys, you can go broke no matter how much money you have. If you don't believe me, just look at most professional athletes a few years after they leave their sport. So even rich people are worried about money and feel the heat of inflation and take steps to cope with it. The Bank of America report that came out recently shows that even many rich people are now shopping at value supermarkets to counter the effects of high food inflation. So maybe that really was Jeff Bezos I saw at my local Walmart buying a cart full of pork rinds and Mountain Dew. So here's the article saying B of A finds increasing number of wealthier Americans now shop at value supermarkets. So their report titled Supermarket Swap found consumers are trading down, meaning shifting spending from more to less expensive items within the same category, with yearly growth spending at value grocery stores up more than a third versus premium stores. So who's doing this trading down the most? They say it is middle and higher income consumers because they have more room to trade down, while lower income consumers are likely to already be shopping at less expensive grocery stores. So for those higher income consumers, their spending in grocery stores in October 22 was up 22% versus January 2019. And they say the latest CPI shows that the food at home category, meaning groceries that you buy in the supermarket and prepare at home versus eating out, were still at a shocking 12.4% year over year growth in October. So they said real inflation adjusted grocery spending per household, and they estimate this using Bank of America card data and CPI inflation, has slowed substantially since 2021 and was below 2019 levels in October. But the number of transactions per household made at the grocery store was still holding levels in line with 2019, indicating that real grocery spending per household per transaction has dropped meaningfully, meaning they're still buying the same amount of stuff, but they're buying cheaper items. So they're substituting cheaper brands for the higher priced stuff. And so that may have something to do with Pepsi laying off hundreds of people after they hiked prices because the consumer strength is questioned. So this layoff came just a few weeks after the company announced it had raised prices on its snacks and drinks by 17% on average from last year. They say the consumer has very much stuck with our products. Maybe, maybe not, but not all of them. And so when they raise the prices like this, some people, instead of buying Doritos, they go buy the Walmart brand or the Aldi's brand of Doritos that might be $1 or $2 cheaper, something along those lines. So here's the CPI index for food at home, year-over-year growth rate through October 2022. And you see we're now about 14%. So this is the monthly inflation-adjusted grocery spending and average number of transactions per household. And so the blue is real grocery spending per household, with the February 20 index starting at 100, so right here. And the red is real grocery spending per household per transaction, and the gray is the average number of transactions per household on this side here. So basically what they're saying is that number has gone up, that amount of spending went up in 2020, but it is now lower than it was in February when the index started, but the amount of transactions people are getting is actually more than where it started over here. So in other words, they're buying more items, but they're spending less money. Well, how do you do that when you have inflation and everything? Well, you buy cheaper products or you shop at cheaper grocery stores. And so this is interesting because the growth rate for all these three tiers was about the same, but after the pandemic and probably some stimulus money and maybe some stock market gains and some crypto gains or something, people felt rich, and the growth in the premium tier grocery stores outpaced the standard and value tier all the way up to almost the middle of 2021. And now the opposite is happening. The value tier is having way more growth. And then the standard tier and then the premium tier has the lowest growth. So why did the growth in all of these categories fall in 2021? Maybe because the U.S. real average weekly earnings in 2021 started to go negative with inflation. And so let's look at the difference between middle income people and higher income people and where they spend their money. So higher income is considered over 100,000, whereas middle income is 50 to 100,000. So this is definitely not necessarily rich. Obviously, over 100,000 includes people making 101,000, and it includes Bill Gates and Warren Buffett as well. So that encompasses everybody. And the index starts in January 2019 at 100. And what's interesting about this is the so-called rich consumers. The value tier is actually always a place where they spend more of their money than the premium tier, right? The blue line is premium. It's always under the yellow line. But now that has widened a lot right now. So the value tier is up around 122, whereas the premium tier is about maybe 105 or something. So a difference of about maybe 17. But look at the people that are supposed to be middle income. The difference between where they spend on value tier and premium tier is not that much difference, right? The premium tier here is about 115 and the value tier is around 125, so a difference of about 10. So if you think the rich people are just buying lobster and filet mignon all the time, this proves otherwise. Matter of fact, it proves that the people that are in the middle income spend more on kind of luxury or premium food, at least according to this chart. So even so-called rich people are worried about the cost of food and are looking for ways to get more for their money. I guess Dollar Tree better start stocking up on some Grey Poupon.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon?
But of course.
Pull forward, please. Reverse. Go forward. No. Reverse.
What is he doing? Come back.